Now, I asked Warner about a possible civil lawsuit, but he was unable to comment about this situation. He says every day is a blessing, and he's just taking it one day at a time.
Ukraine has been in utter turmoil, and this week's protests have been the bloodiest. Our reporter Adam Loewy has an update on the latest in Kiev. Adam, what's going on in the Ukraine?
Well, guys, as you know, the unrest in the country has become an international issue now among world leaders, including here in the United States. Nearly 80 horses are currently living at Orphan Acres, while more than 3,800 have come and gone. But one thing remains the same. It takes several volunteers to care for the horses. Guys, the incident happened at Franklin Regional Senior High School in Murraysville, Pennsylvania, a suburb right outside of Pittsburgh. At least 20 people were injured. The majority of those students, at least 2 of those people are in critical condition, fighting for their lives. Officials say the rampage started shortly after classes began as the attackers stabbed students in a crowded hallway and in classrooms. Witnesses say the attack lasted 5 minutes. Authorities have identified the stabber as 16-year-old Alex Haribal. Authorities say an assistant principal tackled the suspect. He was then taken into custody and is being charged as an adult for attempted homicide.
Fortunately, although this matter is very horrific and terrific, a very bad situation, I can tell you that everything, including putting the suspect in custody, occurred rather quickly.
Many of the victims were transported to local hospitals and later released. The patients ranged in age from 15 to 60. One of the victims was a security guard who was stabbed in the stomach. Now, so far, police say that he did act alone. At this point, though, there's no indication of the stabber's motive. The school is on lockdown for a number of hours. Those not injured were then released to their parents later that day. We'll keep monitoring this story, but that's it for now in the newsroom. Back to you. An early morning car crash near Colfax leaves 2 dead this morning. Our reporter Kyle Sherman was on the scene and has the details. And it's home sweet home for the remaining 16 teams in the NCAA March Madness tournament. 3 of those teams are from the Pac-12, UCLA, Arizona, and Stanford. One of the biggest upsets of the tournament was 10th-seeded Stanford beating Kansas 60-57 in a thriller and held future NBA star Andrew Wiggins to just 4 points on 1 of 6 shooting from the field. Pullman 53 degrees today, overnight low of 41 is what we saw. Up in Spokane, 56 degrees is what we did with some rain around there today. Welcome back. I'm Adam Loewy with your sports report. It's an end of an era for the men's Cougar basketball team. WSU announced Ken Bone was fired after 5 seasons as a head coach. Stepping outside right now, you're looking at a little bit of dodging the showers type action. It's 58 degrees, partly cloudy skies. Today we got to 49 degrees, but the average is right around 58 degrees for this time of year. Let's take a look at tomorrow's forecast. The search for survivors of last weekend's landslide northeast of Seattle continues. Rescue crews from around the region are working night and day searching for the missing. Reporter Melinda Lee joins us in the newsroom with more on the story. The College of Veterinary Medicine at Washington State University is nursing a female red-tailed hawk. The hawk was found just outside of Lewiston by Idaho Fish and Game with some unusual wounds. WSU's Exotics and Wildlife Department head Dr. Nicole Finch says she is severely underweight, is dealing with soft tissue damage near the tail.
Basically the soft tissue over that, so all the muscles and the skin were almost ripped away to a point, and it was actually down to the point that we were actually looking at bone when we were trying to clean out that wound. So it was a really deep wound.
But malnourishment was only half the battle. Blue also suffered from cancer in his right eye. Glover says Blue's body tried to fight it off, but after several unsuccessful surgeries, it was clear it could not.
After we had the eye removed, he was actually like night and day. He was much happier. He obviously was in pain, but we couldn't tell he was in pain with the eye. But after it was removed, it was very obvious that that was causing discomfort and pain to him.
Glover says that since Blue's surgery, he interacts well with the other horses. At 29 years old, he has great vision in his remaining eye. Glover says he's stronger than ever, and with the proper care and treatment, could live well into his 40s. Last March, Washington State professor Dr. David Warner was injured during a fight at Adams Mall. Whitman County prosecutors have now determined that there was not enough evidence to charge any of those involved. Most of the evidence presented in the case was from surveillance video, which clearly shows a fight, but not the details. Warner lost consciousness and was transferred to a Spokane hospital where he spent months recovering. For Warner, it hasn't been an easy recovery, but he continues to stay upbeat and positive.
I guess I'm getting healthier. My body is getting healed up. There was 3 parts of my skull that was busted out, and I didn't remember where I was. My vocabulary was reduced to 5 words, and I was like, this is me, and I've got to live with this head injury for the rest of my life.
Pullman Police Commander Chris Tennant says Warner was either punched, pushed, or he fell, resulting in a traumatic brain injury.
Well, it's not the fact that the evidence didn't hold up. It's just that there are questions that the evidence can't answer. There is what appears to be a kick by one of the suspects, but it's behind a car. Indications the medical reports, doctors, specialists in the medical field were unable to exactly tell us how the injuries occurred.
Prosecutors say they were also able to determine that Dr. Warner's friend, Lawrence J. McDonald, was initially the aggressor and Warner was trying to break up the fight. Steve Martnick was a defense attorney to one of the original 4 people arrested, Robert Bean. He says there was initially some concern that his client would be charged, but he says his client is just glad it's over.
Basically, I think just want a quiet relief. As you said, it's a long process. Had gone on for quite a while. Just happy to have it over more than anything.
Now, I asked Warner about a possible civil lawsuit, but he was unable to comment about this situation. He says every day is a blessing, and he's just taking it one day at a time. Reporting from Adams Mall in Pullman, Adam Loewy, Murrow News 8.